Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 3 of ICC FIDE rated chess tournament, which is happening in Coimbatore. So, if you did not watch the first video, I have covered Game 1 and 2 of the tournament. After the first day, it was going good, अच्छा जा रहा था, and I was on 2 on 2. I was in 2 on 2, and the tournament was going fine. I gained 5 rating points by defeating the second opponent, who was like around 1400 rated player. And in the third game, in the third round, I was facing a player of good caliber. His rating was 1803 and his name was Mithul. And I was facing with the black pieces. So after a good start, let's see what happens on game 3 without giving any spoilers. Let's see what happens. Let's jump into the game. So he played e4. So he played e4. I played c5, which is what I usually play, the Sicilian. He played knight f3, d6. So d6 ka basically, for those who do not play these variations of Sicilian, d6 ka basically idea hota hai ki you want to develop the knight in the next move, but you don't want to be faced with e5. So it's critical to understand these small nuances in any position rather than just memorizing the moves, is because if the opponent plays something else, for instance, if he plays let's say c3 or something here, then you have to understand that why you play d6. D6 is not really good here because, I mean, why would he even play d6 here? Because he would easily get d4 and he would get the whole center, right? So d6 does not make sense in that position where he plays c3. So d6 is good here because next move you're going to play this. You're going to attack the e4 pawn, and you don't want to be met with e5. So that was the basic idea, and then he plays d4, which is the open Sicilian. I took, he took, and knight f6. So knight f6 with the basic idea that um, I'm going to attack the e4 pawn. There are multiple ways white can defend this pawn. F3 is one line. Knight c3 is one of the common lines, which um, which is my pet line, which kind of transposes, not transposes, but the knight of variation comes in. But he played knight c3, and which is the main move, and then I played a6. So now we enter the territory of knight off. So the knight off variation is kind of what I have prepared against the e4, against e4, and there are so many lines in this variation. इतनी सारी complications है because white can literally play anything here. He can play bishop e3, he can play f3, he can play bishop e2, he can play bishop c4, he can play, I mean, lots of moves. I mean, people even play rook g1, g4 ideas. So it's tough to prepare against, not against, it's tough to prepare the knight off because the theory is too big. But मैं क्या करता हूँ कि I understand the basic nuances of the position कि why are we doing what we are doing. If we get that, then even if we play something else, at least we have the idea कि हमें करना क्या है पोजीशन में. For example, the thematic breaks of d5. For example, sometimes you have to play e5 and kick off the knight and try to play d5. So some basic thematic ideas are there. अगर king side push आ रहा तो you have to go for a queen side push and basically counter attack when the kings are like opposite side castled. So basically there are some basic ideas which you have to know and understand rather than just memorize the moves, because if you start memorizing the moves in knight off, you'll get lost. You'll get lost in the opening and also you might lose in the position. So anyways, he plays bishop e2, throwing off uh, all the theory. And bishop e2 was not a move which I have studied before. इतनी ज़्यादा मैंने deeply नहीं देखी थी because लोग खेलते हैं, but maybe I have not faced it often, so I have not studied, but I will after this game. So after bishop e2, I played the standard move, which is e5. Standard move क्योंकि e5 idea basically ये है कि let's kick off the knight. Yes, when you play e5 एक square बनता है d5 पे, a hole, but that's what Sicilian players do in this d6 variation. You play with that hole in the position, and black की पूरी game ये होती है कि you have to get rid of that particular weakness in your position and somehow push d5. And white's aim in the position is to like somehow take control of that d5 square and take an advantage positionally. So white plays knight f3 back. Now knight f3 And bishop e2, this is the line which I don't know much about, even though it is also very common. I should know about it, but I was not aware. And here I made a critical positional blunder, I would say, by playing bishop e6, because instantly he played knight g5, and the fact is that I'm losing my light square bishop. अब दिक्कत ये है कि यार मेरा लाइट स्क्वायर बिशप जा रहा है एंड माई पॉन्स आर गेटिंग डबल्ड. आई कैन नॉट मूव द बिशप एनी वेयर बैक. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑफ बिशप c4 एज शोन इन द एरो, क्योंकि बिशप c4 एंड f7 पे बहुत प्रेशर आ रहा है. तो आई कैन नॉट डू दैट. So so the issue was that I have to give up my bishop now, and also double my pawns in the e file. So I was not happy after this कि यार ये क्या हो गया, थोड़ा issues हो गए. But I still played on. I played b5. b5 उस point पे मेरा thought process ये था कि यार b5 I played because to restrict his bishop from coming to c4. So also just kind of restricting his bishop and also taking some space in the queen side, eventually maybe going for b4 and knight e4 ideas, but that was the main idea. I could also play bishop e7 and try to castle quickly. That's also one of the ideas. He took, which is what I was expecting. I took with e6. Now I have a double pawn, and he played a4. Now after a4 I felt a bit happy, and क्योंकि सी मेरा एम क्या है पूरी पोजीशन में, मेरे को तो बस d5 खेलना है. d5 खेलना है, एंड इफ ही टेक्स आई एम गोइंग टू अनडबल माई पॉन्स, हैव अ गुड सेंटर, क्विकली castle, put my king to safety and play the game. But he played a4 and I felt something is off here, because of course b4 is coming. a4 I cannot take on a4 because rook opens up and a lot of things are happening. Of course I won't take. But b4 I was thinking, and I knew what maybe he was planning. I thought b4 he was going to go knight h2, knight a2, and I cannot take on e4 because of bishop f3, because the knight is pinned, and if I play d5 he takes, I take, and it's a mess because tripled pawn on e file. I have no advantage whatsoever, so I did not like that position. But I think what he missed was what I played in the game, which is d4, d5 here. And this was so good because after d5 I was getting, if he takes, of course I undouble my pawns, and my b4 pawn is defended automatically with the bishop, and I'm successfully able to break open the center. And next move, if he doesn't do anything, I'm also going to threaten to take on e4. So lots of things were going good, and I felt कि यार okay, I think position थोड़ी सी संभल गई है. It might be equal, maybe I have equalized this. He plays bishop g5, he played, which is what I was expecting. ठीक है, bishop g5 pin करते हुए and renewing the threat of maybe e takes d5, and I played knight d7, just defending, and now I might be able to move my queen if I'm given the chance. He played bishop h5. यहाँ पे I was calculating this already कि bishop h5 चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा, and I saw his idea कि भाई bishop h5, of course I have to play g6, I cannot move my king. तो मैंने g6 तो फटाफट चल दिया, but I knew कि he was gonna play bishop g4, and bishop g4 का idea ये था कि e6 attack करना है. But I thought I could play queen b6 with the idea, critical idea ये है कि if I play queen b6 ना, he can take on d5. Okay, the point is कि I cannot immediately take on d5 because of bishop d7. क्योंकि अगर bishop d7 आ गया ना, तो I have to take back with the knight, right? If I take with the king, oh, I can take with the king? No, but if I take with the king, okay, I did not consider taking with the king, I think. Or if I take with the king, then bishop f6, queen f6, bishop f6, queen f6, and queen d5 is losing already. Yeah, but the point was that if I took with the knight, then I was hanging d5. So d5 pawn pit raha tha, but I still went into this line. I played queen b6 because I saw that after taking on d5 I have this intermezzo, knight takes g4, because now the queen is distracted, deflected from the defense of d5 square, and now I could take it. And this position जब मैंने देखी थी ना यार, I was like, okay, मेरा king थोड़ा center में weak सा लग रहा है, but I felt कि I have the center, his knight is misplaced in the corner, and next move I might play bishop c5. Of course, I mean I cannot play bishop g7. I would love to play bishop g7, but bishop g7 खेल नहीं सकता because b4 is hanging. So I thought कि bishop c5 खेलूँगा, and I mean, there is some attack on f2 square. I can castle king side. It looked fine, right? So I was okay. So now though I was worried about rook d1 here. Rook d1 मैंने देखा था. I thought he'll play rook d1 with some um, pressure on d5 square. But actually, rook d1 पे मैं चलने वाला था bishop c5. Because I was thinking कि counter attack करते हैं. थोड़ा उनका king भी बाहर आएगा. But apparently it's very bad. क्योंकि I saw after the game that bishop c5 पे there is simply rook takes d5. And if he goes rook takes d5, then I'll show this to you. Bishop c5, rook d1, bishop c5. If he can just simply take on d5, because if he takes on d5, I take on f2, and he just has king d1 or something, and I have got nothing. And यहाँ पे d7 की लगी पड़ी है. I mean, मेरे pieces are like so miscoordinated. So apparently that was bad. But in the game I was thinking कि okay, I can maybe do some counter attack there. But he castled king side. I played bishop c5. Just trying to castle now. Castle king side. Next move. He played rook d1, and here I was in a thing कि क्या करूँ मैं. I mean, I could have done something better. I'm not sure. I played queen d6 with the idea कि भाई knight defend हो रहा है, next move castle करते हैं, and also d5 defend हो रहा है. But I was worried about this next move, which is what he played, which is c4. But c4 पे I thought कि there were two moves I was considering in c4. One was bishop d4, but apparently bishop d4 was lost because of rook takes g4. ये मैंने देखा नहीं था. Actually I missed this. I analyzed this after the game and I saw that rook d4 is completely winning for him, because bishop d4, rook d4, e d4 and rook e1 is just over. My king is completely trapped here, right? So but thanks to my instincts मैंने चल दिया d4. अब d4, after d4, I mean not after d4, while I was calculating d4, I thought he would play queen f3, basically attacking the rook and also stopping my castling, which is what he played. I mean, जब मैं देखता हूँ ना कि the moves which I'm calculating is what he's actually playing, I feel confident कि यार हाँ, I think we are doing similar levels of calculation, similar, maybe the depth is different, but at least the lines which we are seeing are kind of same. I mean, logical and which is same. So I was happy कि भाई ठीक है, queen f3 तो मैंने देख लिया था, and I was prepared. I quickly played rook c8. He played knight c1, which was logical, rerouting his knight. यहाँ पे I went to trade the queens, which was nice क्योंकि ना उसका king was stopping my castling and everything. I have to trade the queens. उसने trade किया, मैं rook c6 चला, उसने rook e1 चला, and here I castled, and castle was actually a bad move. तो बहुत टाइम से ना क्या हो रहा था कि I was focused on attacking on f2. So I got blindsided here and I played castle, but later on I saw that maybe king f7 was the better play, क्योंकि king f7 करके रुक को e8 पे रख के e4 push करना. Maybe that was the idea which I should have gone for. And king was safe on f7. I could also bring it into the attack, and now I can also play king g7 and try for h6 g5. So maybe that was the play. I wasted a tempo here क्योंकि king वैसे भी f7 पे आ रहा था और rook f8 पे कुछ कर नहीं रहा था. He played knight d3, and here again I made a positional mistake. The thing is कि ना थोड़ा time भी कम था, but understanding में भी थोड़ा था कि I thought my bishop was good, but after this move my bishop was really bad. Like basically it has become a pawn. It is the defensive piece हो गया है, and I should have let him take my bishop if he wants, because if my knight comes here it is attacking a4, it is not allowing b3. The position is kind of troublesome for him. My knight is better here. I should have done that, maybe defend. यहाँ पे rook e8 कुछ खेल लेना था simply, e5 pawn defend करते हुए, and if he takes on c5 I take with the knight, and a4 is attacked. He cannot play b3, and I was better there. But anyways, I played this, and here he played b3 defending the c4 pawn. I played rook f5, bishop h4 and a5. I played this because I wanted to play knight c5 and trade these knights with the basic idea कि ठीक है मैं रुक से मार दूंगा, कुछ हो नहीं रहा. I can later on bring my king, defend this pawn, and bring my rook over to f7. Let's just eliminate his knight. But apparently my knight was better. And of course, I cannot play knight c5 right now, right away, because b5 was hanging, b4 was hanging. But फिर मैं ये खेल सकता था शायद, but I didn't want to go into that complication. तो ये हुआ, and he played bishop g3. I expected this, bishop c7. e5 pawn was defended, but now ना मैं passive हो रहा था धीरे धीरे. Like I was just defending and he was constantly attacking. He played f3, king f7, rook e5. His rooks were getting active, see, and my rook was passive on c6. मेरे को घुमा के फटाफट लेके आना था, but I didn't do that, and I was also running low on time. This was good. h4 and h5, these are best moves. मतलब basically kind of blocking up on the king side. And he played bishop h2, bishop b8, king e2, knight c5. The thing was, the position was blocked, and about this time the position was even. It was 0-0s in engines as well. I played knight c5, thinking that okay, if he takes on c5, I take on c5, nothing bad is happening, everything is defended, all the pawns are defended, he cannot attack any of these pawns more than 2 times, and I have 3-4 defenders here, so it should be fine. How can he make any progress? But he did show me how to make progress, and so I was just shuffling back and forth, right? Rook f4, king g6, king f6. You see, he was posing, giving me some problems. So bishop f2 was a direct problem. Next move is threatening to take and take. So I moved back my rook. He played rook e2. I played back king g6, bishop e1, and rook g4. He's slowly improving the position, and I still felt कि कुछ हो नहीं रहा, but things were actually happening. Okay, king आगे अंदर, king was so close, and he was improving his position, and my pieces were totally passive right now. I played bishop d8. See, every move, सारी moves मेरी passive हो रही हैं. I should have played something more active. And yeah, he played rook e1. I played king f6, thinking again क्या हो रहा है, and he played g3. And after g3, I thought things are getting kind of bad, because अभी 50 move rule भी reset हो गया, pawn move हो गए, capture हो गया, and I have to start thinking again. We were both running low on time, but since I was the one defending, it was a bit hard for me. I played rook c7, and I think the move here was king e6, just defending here laterally, and yeah, maybe that was the idea. The idea which I missed because my time mein kam tha was that king e6, bishop g5. I mean, let's say he takes on g5. I mean, after rook g1, let's say I play rook h3 or something, I don't know. If he takes on g5 now, I could take on g5 with the bishop. If he takes with the rook, I would go rook f4, king e6, king d3, and rook f3. And this was winning for me because I was infiltrating, and he did not have anything else. So ye karna tha, but I missed this, and I played rook g7. I gave him h4, king e6. He took rook g6, and now I was just completely lost. I didn't know what to do. And after this, I mean, he played rook h2. His rook was entering, so I had no other choice but to take maybe. But after taking, he played rook g2, and this was over because all my pieces were tied up here. And he correctly calculated c5 and takes, and c6, and here I resigned the game. It was a sad game. It went on around 4.5 hours long. It completely drained me, and the fact कि भाई हार भी गया ऊपर से did not feel good. Overall इस गेम में I realized कि यार end games थोड़ी सी I could do better, maybe a little bit more time management, but overall middle game ideas were okay. After the opening positional mistake, I recovered well, but I could have done better. Maybe थोड़ा push कर सकता था basically. So yeah, that was the game 3 of ICC FIDE Chess Tournament Coimbatore, Let's go for round 4. And here round 4 में जब मैं mindset जा रहा था, he was a 1440 rated opponent. I was confident, feeling confident about my game, but and I was expecting to win, honestly. But okay, spoiler मिल गया क्या? Okay, I don't think you would have gotten that. But let's go. Let's go round 4 and see what happens here. He was a low rated opponent. I have to win this, otherwise I'll lose a lot of rating points. So let's see what happens quickly. So English opening, e5, the reverse Sicilian variation, knight c3, knight f3, d6, g3. Basically it's a standard variation. एक चीज़ मैं इसमें बता देता हूँ, यहाँ पे some people get tempted to play e4, which is a blunder. He's just losing a pawn with knight g5 because you cannot play d5 and you cannot successfully defend the e4 square. Just for someone who wants to know, I played knight f3. I usually play, I mean there's a lot of moves here. You can also play g3 here, but I do play knight f3 usually just to tempt people to play e4. He played d6. यहाँ पे d4 मूव होती है. यहाँ पे there's a lot of moves. Some people also play a3, g3. All are moves. I like to play g3 here. And b6. Now b6 was something new to me. मैंने कभी देखा नहीं b6 यहाँ पे. But I just continued development normally, hoping that at some point I'll have some discoveries here on e5. I castled. He played g6. Really dubious. And the next move, यहाँ पे जैसे उसने g6 चला ना, I was like यार king center में, and can't I like you utilize some combination of c5 and knight e5 or something, because the bishop was hanging. And I calculated some crazy lines and I thought let's play c5. तुम सोच रही हो 2 pawn से defended है ये वाला square, and I push c5. I'll show you what my idea was. Okay, the idea was कि if he takes this, then obviously I take here, which is fine. I get the central pawn, and yeah, we trade the bishops, but it's okay. Okay, at least I get the central pawn. And the second idea was कि if he takes here, I thought I'll play queen b3. अब क्वीन b3 आई थॉट आइडिया ये है कि भाई बिशप अटैक्ड है, ठीक है, एंड अगर लेट्स से बिशप बचाता है समहाउ, देन आई हैव नाइट e5, है ना. बट आई थिंक आई मिस्ड समथिंग. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल आई वाज थिंकिंग क्वीन c8, नाइट e5, देयर इज अ मेट हैंगिंग हियर एंड देयर इज दिस हैंगिंग हियर. सो आई थॉट ये तो बढ़िया मूव है. So even though positionally कभी यहाँ पे c5 नहीं आता, I played c5. But yeah, he played bishop d7. But to be honest, it was a bad move. The counter was just queen b3 and bishop c6, and nothing is happening because knight e5 currently doesn't work because he can just take and the bishop is successfully defended. So this was the idea, but it was a bad idea. But okay, good thing to know. Here he played bishop g7. I took on d6. He took with the queen c2 with the, I mean पता नहीं क्यों I was playing like hope chess kind of thing. आराम से d4 चल के सेंटर लेना था धीरे धीरे. I was playing queen c2 with the hoping कि भाई वो कुछ नहीं करेगा, maybe some stupid move खेलेगा and I'll play this and win c7. Really bad, but he played the best move here, knight c5. I'll play knight b5. Again playing hope chess कि भाई I think you could play simply queen e7 and nothing is happening. My knight is stupid there. अगले मूव में क्वीन e7 खेल के a6 खेल के ना, I have to come back. बट आई वॉज होपिंग कि वो क्वीन c6 चलेगा एंड आई विल प्ले नाइट h4 विद द आइडिया कि भाई आप क्या करोगे. आई मीन देर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ थ्रेट्स. आई मीन अ सैम्पल लाइन वॉज दैट क्वीन c6, नाइट h4, लेट्स से, एंड इफ ही प्लेज क्वीन d7, आई टेक ऑन b7, queen b7 and knight d6, winning the queen. So this was what I was hoping for, but again, hope chess, this was not, this means that I'm not playing good. अगर ऐसे moves खेल रहा हूँ तो this is a symbol of कि मैं ढंग से concrete calculations नहीं कर रहा. It happens usually जब तुम एक variation में बहुत time spend करते हो and it is not panning out, but since you have already invested a lot of time, यू फील लाइक यार अब मैं कुछ और सोचना शुरू करूँगा तो वो सारा टाइम वेस्ट हो गया. तो यू समहाउ ट्राई टू मेक इट वर्क एंड ट्राई टू कन्विंस योर सेल्फ कि यार ये सही मूव है, चल देते हैं, सही मूव है. सो इफ़ यू आर इन दिस पोजिशंस, मेक श्योर दैट if you try to do concrete calculation, if it does not pan out, just look for something else or look for a move which is more reasonable, more logical, रीसेट कर लिया करो, don't play like me. So knight h4, he played e4 correctly. I came back attacking this, and here I thought I was winning a pawn uh, when I came back with knight c3 because I had d3 and the queen was pinned. उसने क्वीन e6 चला एंड मैंने मार दिया, पॉन मार दिया मैंने. उसके बाद पॉन मार के, एक सेकेंड, समथिंग इज गेटिंग स्टक, सॉरी, शिट, अनदर स्पॉइलर. यार एक तो मेरा पीसी ना, एक्चुअली आई एम यूजिंग माई लैपटॉप, सो इट इज़ गिविंग मी सम ट्रबल्स, सॉरी फॉर दैट. Now after castles I played d3, he went queen e6 and I took, and I was like, well, I'm a pawn up, what are you going to do? He played bishop c6, I think with the idea कि bishop defended होगा यहाँ पे, queen से भी knight से भी, and I don't have any e5 shenanigans because e5, bishop g2, ef6, if he saves the bishop I win a piece here, so you know ये नहीं चाहिए था, तो उसने वो चला होगा I guess, and I took on e4. I played rook d1, he played knight d7, and here bishop f4 I played with the idea of rook d6 and winning a piece. But here I think I missed a critical move here, which is knight f5. ये मुझे बाद में दिखा, बाद में एज इन की इंजन में देख के दिखा, knight f5 with the idea कि अगर मारोगे तो फिर तो तुम हार गए. क्यों? क्योंकि I take here, and if you move the rook anywhere I just take here, right? And another idea was कि अगर तुम नहीं मार रहे, मान लो तुमने बिशप या कुछ बचा लिया, I have rook d6, queen e8, knight h6, king g7 and rook c6. So knight f5 would have maybe ended the game right then, but I did not spot it. I played bishop f5, he played knight e5, and here I felt good कि भाई this should not be good. I took and I played f4 with the idea था मेरा कि मेरा आइडिया यही था कि मार के if he goes queen e6 I'll play e5 and I'm getting in rook d6. e5, the knight moves, let's say anywhere, I go rook d6 and I'm winning a piece there, and it's a good piece because it's the bishop, okay, the light square bishop, which is really good for me. And I'm not worried about knight e3 because मेरा रुक ऊपर जाएगा टेम्पो के साथ, तो it's not even a fork. But I missed one thing, which is this. एंड क्वीन c7 देख के मुझे अब अजीब सा लगने लग गया, क्योंकि यार फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल e5, अब मुझे डर लग रहा था e5 खेलने से. क्यों डर लग रहा था? क्योंकि e5 खेलूँगा ना तो ही हैज़ knight g4, एंड आई वाज लाइक यार अब क्या करूँ मैं, e5 knight g4, अब ये आ रहा है, एंड आई माइट लूज माई बिशप नाउ. एंड e5, आई मीन apparently nothing was happening. I could have played e5 with the idea कि अच्छा वो बिशप g2 तो मार नहीं सकता क्योंकि मैं ये मार दूंगा, but e5 knight g4, something must have been happening. e5 knight g4 पे क्या हो रहा है? I think some complicated line. I mean इंजन से देखना पड़ेगा. I'm not turning on engine right now क्योंकि फिर वीडियो अटक जाएगी. But I'll send you the game link. You can check it out. But I think e5 and knight g4, something was happening. I think I take here, bishop g2, queen c2, and just simply rook d6, and it was fine. I think this was the line. I remember it now. E5, knight g4, bishop c6, queen c6, and rook d6. Simply saying कि कुछ हो नहीं रहा तुम्हारे पास. I don't have anything here. And next move I'm going to play queen e3, rook d1. Positional advantage थी +2 की, but कोई material advantage नहीं थी. I played rook e2 after a long thing, just getting out of this idea. But I felt here कि यार कुछ तो गड़बड़ हो गई है. He went rook d8, I played rook d1, knight g4. I played bishop f3, and यहाँ पे actually after rook e1 I completely missed knight g4. क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है ना, अब fork आ रही है. The reason I played rook d2 was to avoid this fork, and now the fork is coming again. And I was not feeling good about this क्योंकि अब bishop d4 आ रहा है, and rook d8. If I trade all the rooks, he would be having the d file, he would be having knight e3, picking up my bishop, and I did not feel good about this position. So here I went into a long thing, पता नहीं आधे घंटे का थिंक करके I was ready to give up the exchange. मैंने चल दिया bishop e3, bishop f3. I was literally ready कि अगर knight e3 चलेगा तो कोई बात नहीं, exchange दे देते हैं भाई, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. I'll play some knight d4, and the fact कि मेरा bishop है, light square है, I mean he'll have to give up his light square bishop, so I was playing on that कि ठीक है, let's play that. ही प्लेड बिशप d4 दो, एंड इस पॉइंट पे मेरा माइंड सेट था कि एक्सचेंज तो देना ही है, और ऑफकोर्स मैं किंग का ही मूव नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि यहाँ पे बीटी हो रही है. सो आई वॉज लाइक कि भाड़ में जाए दे देता है. रुक टेक्स g4. आई इंस्टेंटली प्लेड रुक d4. आई डिडंट इवन कैलकुलेट. ही टुक एंड नाउ आई प्लेड 95. मेरे को 95 दिख गया था कि 95 हो रहा है, कुछ तो हो रहा है, क्वीन हटाएगा तो आई कैन टेक द नाइट. यहाँ पे बहुत कुछ हो रहा था बाय द वे. If he moves the queen, I have queen c6. I have also bishop g4. Queen c6 with the idea that queen c6 and knight e7, I'm picking up the piece. And also simply the knight is hanging. And if he plays knight e3, I have knight c7, knight c2, and I'm winning back the exchange. So I knew कि कुछ तो हो रहा है. I thought he have to give up the exchange again. rook d4 के साथ, which was okay by me. मैं तो मार देता और knight e3 खेलता तो c6 मार देता. So but yeah, I was feeling okay here. उसने knight e3 करा, मैंने मार दिया c7, इसने ये मारा, मैंने a8 मार दिया, उसने ये मारा, मैंने e4 चल दिया, with the idea कि अब ये pawn तो मर ही गया, क्योंकि if he takes or if he doesn't take, I don't care, I'm gonna bring back my knight here and pick up this d4 pawn. Completely winning. I'm a pawn up, and this is an endgame. Okay, one second. Bishop 8, rook a8, and this is an endgame in which I'm being 2 pawns up. I played a3 by the way, just to stop knight b4 and escape, let the knight escape via there. I played a3, he played knight e3, I took on e4, I took on d4, sorry, and he played knight c4. And in this position I'm 2 pawns up, sub winning hai. I have to aram se, I just have to trade pieces and play the endgame. And this shows kitni endgame meri kharab hai and what I have to improve on, because I showed a masterclass of how to mess up this. And though in my defense I was low on time, but really there's no defense against this man. I should have won this game. But anyways, I played knight c6, which is not bad at all. Okay, I see, he takes d, knight b2 with the idea कि भाई उसको pawn तो मिल रहा था कुछ भी करके, but knight b2, and I was like ठीक है. I could have taken a7 as well and played that position. That is also fine. I could play, I could also play e5, d4, pushing my passer, which is what I did actually. I pushed here, he went knight c4, and I played d5. He played king f8, because if he doesn't play king f8, I have this, and he's too slow, because I'll have d7 very quickly. He played king f8 correctly. I took on a7, he took on a3, and this was perfectly good. I mean, nothing is happening. I'm bringing my king in, see, he's pushing, I'm bringing my king in, and I've won this pawn as well. b3 भी मिल गया मुझे. 2 pawns up, knight and game, कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. All I have to do is find the winning idea, which was e6. Not here, but at certain point the winning idea was e6, which I completely missed. I was literally playing on increment. I'm not trying to be defensive कि भाई क्यों ब्लंडर कर रहा हूँ, but लर्निंग इज़ कि भाई एंड गेम्स ठीक करनी है. आराम से वो नाइट ऑफ फन खेल रहा है, पता नहीं क्या क्या पॉन मार रहा है. यहाँ तक मेरा सही था, किंग d5 सही था. ओके, दिस वाज ऑल गुड, परफेक्ट मूव्स. ही प्लेड नाइट ऑफ फन टू टेक द g3 पॉन एज वेल. और यहाँ पे मुझे देख लेना था कि e6 आ रहा है एंड e6 इज़ विनिंग, बट आई गॉट स्कैर्ड कि भाई e6 आएगा. बहुत कम टाइम था ना. आई वाज स्कैर्ड कि भाई e6 आएगा तो नाइट e3 चेक आ जाएगी, और यहाँ पे आऊँगा तो ये चेक आ जाएगी, और फिर ये तो फिर बीटी हो जाएगी. ये मारूंगा तो इससे पॉन वॉन मार देगा, चेक दे देगा, फिर यहाँ जा भी नहीं सकता मैं, और कहीं और जाऊँगा तो ये इट फेल्ट इफ़ी कि भाई ये तो पॉन मिल रहा है उसको e6 वाला सिंपली. बट द विनिंग आइडिया वॉज टू प्ले e6 एंड अलाउ knight e3 if he comes and play knight e4, king e4, and this was over. This was literally over क्योंकि knight attacked है. If you move the knight anywhere, I played d7 and he was getting mated, right? And ये मिस किया मैंने, and I felt so bad seeing this after the game. I played king c5 like an idiot, trying to somehow get the square. He took on g3, I went king b3, he went king d7, I played this. I repeated a couple of times just to gain some time. He played h5, I played knight b8 again, I played this again, and here I lost on time, but not here. I played d7 and lost on time and the position. d7 was such a terrible move. I did not want to take a draw. I should have taken a draw. तमीज़ से draw लेनी चाहिए थी घटिया चेस खेल के, but नहीं, घमंड तो है ही. तो he played h4 and this was completely lost. But here I flagged, by the way. but this was completely lost because nothing is happening. King c6, king d6 with the idea of this, but he always has f4 and I'm lost. I mean, let's say he plays h3, I play king e3 and king e3 knight f5 and king d4 h2, and I've got nothing here. Maybe there was some try with this, but I'm not sure if it is anything. He just queens, I guess. I don't know. Maybe this is something, but I think it was completely winning for him. But anyways, after a stunning first day, I made a disaster. Disaster struck, and things went south. And like I went south, things also went south. But yeah, so I am currently on 2 out of 4. Um, Terrible turn of events, but let's see. There are 4 more rounds left. देखते हैं if I could turn around some miracle and maybe do something, right? So yeah, that's it. 4 rounds gone, 4 rounds more to go. Hopefully, if I win, I'll try to win all the 4 games, and if I do, I'll be maybe able to recover some of the points which I lost. I'm currently going minus 13 points in the tournament, which is bad, but it's okay. We we play again tomorrow, and let's hope that we do something good, right? So that was for the day 2, and hope you see tomorrow, and hope I do well tomorrow, and see you in the next video. Take care and stay tuned, and of course try to hit a like and subscribe. Bye bye.